Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to share with you, as we know, the Idaho Stalker has been caught, allegedly. And one of the things that we continue to find out is his deep involvement in criminology, in school, to learn. But why was he learning this? Was this a plan of his all along? And so he was infatuated or really connected to other serial, you know what? And so I want to dive into what are we hearing in connection to other past criminals? People who have done what he just did, but was he trying to figure out a way to actually get away with it and commit a lot more? Let's dive into what we know at this time. The daughter of serial killer Dennis Rader believes that Idaho quadruple suspect could have had contact with her father after a close relationship with criminology professor has come out. This criminology professor did a story, wrote a book, got very close to the BTK killer. This here is his daughter, Kerri Rawson, who is the daughter of the BTK person. And his name, Dennis Rader, as I shared earlier, he has said that she shared that it is possible that there had been letters between her father and Bryan Kohberger. You see, the 28-year-old who was arrested on Friday and charged with 4 counts of first degree and 1 count of felony burglary said that, this man accused of this Idaho is once studied under a serial kill expert. So this is kind of mind-blowing that not only have we been finding out little by little, but the fact that he studied under an expert who studies serial kills, and he graduated as a PhD, or the graduate PhD student. He had previously studied under a professor in Pennsylvania known for her expertise on serial kills. And she was studying criminology as he was studying criminology at Washington State University at the time of the slayings. Now, this is just minutes from the crime scene. The daughter of Dennis Rader tells News Nation that she is a little afraid to even think about the fact that Kohberger could have been in contact with her father after discovering that he had actually been taught by Dr. Catherine Ramsland while at DeSales University. And so that expert also wrote the BTK killer's autobiography. And that's where it gets a little interesting, because did he actually touch base with this person? Now, she did share that her dad would get a lot of requests for interviews, would get a lot of even BTK fans. To me, that's kind of cringe-worthy. Who would be a fan of a serial K? Who would be a fan of that type of person? That kind of haunts me, to be completely honest with you. You see, at DeSales University, he was studying psychology. Literally. And his favorite memory or quote, according to his bio at DeSales, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Well, my friends, it looks like he was entertaining a thought that he couldn't let go. That's my theory on that, especially if he is the person that did this. Right now, he is just the alleged person to have done this. Police have not shared what they know, as they're not allowed to share that yet. But what we are finding out is that he studied under a very well-known person who is a doctor a doctor of psychology or whatever she was. We'll get to that here in a second. But she has declined to comment in this incident after he was arrested. And so she declined to comment on the arrest. But see, here's the thing. She spent decades researching serial killers and mass murders, right? Even writing both The Mind of a Murderer and How to Catch a Killer. Those are a couple of her books that she has authored. Now, she is best known for developing a close relationship with this serial killer, Dennis Rader, also known as BTK. And Rawson, the daughter, said, "My first reaction was my stomach churned and I literally physically got ill. I've been pretty invested in the Idaho case and I was shocked to see there was a connection to Ramsland and my father." That's what she is sharing. And she even says there is potentially a connection to my father, but we are going to have to wait and see. Now, Kohberger, she says, could have had communication with my father. That's what she has shared. This is Kohberger, as you can see, while he studied at DeSales. She said, it's very common for criminal justice students and in general the true crime community or fans to contact my father via mail and occasionally speak on the phone. Knowing how personally connected Ramsland is to my father, I would not be surprised if at the very least Kohberger tried to write to him. If he has contacted my father, there would be letters in his house and in my father's jail cell. It's hard to be the kid of this guy and live with this. That's what she shared. And then see somebody else go do this and wonder, did your dad influence this? Did my dad talk to him? That's what she is asking herself. She says, was he studying my father outside of academics? Am I ever going to get answers to that? I don't know. And it's reasons like this that is so many people are drawn to this, because she even says, like, if my dad had anything to do with this, will I ever know? Like, she wants to know if my dad is in any way connected. I'm sure she would feel terrible if she found out that he is, because she even shares that, right? But we don't really know all of that. And truth is, some of this we will never be able to find out if it was true or not true. Is that not a fair statement? We're not going to get into the mind of him unless he actually speaks. Right now, I theorizing he's going to try to get away with this. I think he's trying to play law enforcement, play games, and I feel like that he was not far away from this when it came to keeping coverage. Again, I don't know all of that. We're going to just have to play online detective, and we're going to play, get in the mind of what would he be thinking about. We won't ever be able to answer that, will we? And that's just the truth. But she said that if he has contacted my father, there would be letters in his house and in my father's jail cell. That's what she shared. It's hard to be the kid of this guy and live with this. I would imagine that this is pretty hard. And really, we hope to find out more. That's what the daughter is sharing. And she even says, did my dad talk to him? That's a great question, and we'll probably get those type of answers. But she also said that she thinks the Kohberger family is going through HELL after his arrest, pointing out that there is currently no reason to suspect that they knew. I agree with her. I totally agree with her. And she said that, she adds that she is shocked at how far Kohberger made it into into the criminology field before comparing him to other major serial kills, including her father, Dennis Rader, the BTK serial, and Joseph DeAngelo, who is known as the Golden State Killer. And both of them had criminology degrees. So if you think about that, he was completely studying almost everything I could think of around criminology under a famed criminology expert who even was an author writing a bunch of books, who gave them projects to do. Was this project that where he was surveying criminals, was that a project by her? I don't know yet. Maybe. Let me know in the comments if you think so. But they're suspected to be connected because of everything we're finding out around Kohberger. This is a picture that you see of Dennis Rader and his daughter, who this image I got from online with that it looks like it was distributed by her. This is copyrighted as courtesy of Kerri Rawson. And so Kerri Rawson, who is the daughter, who is speaking out, who is doing exclusive interviews. She did an exclusive interview with News Nation, and that's what you're seeing right here. She did an exclusive interview with Brian Enton, one of my favorite people to follow as well. And so now they're being compared to the Golden State Killer on the left and then the BTK on the right of your screen. That's Dennis Rader and Joseph DeAngelo. I believe that's his name. And truth is, that very well may have something to do with it. You see, Dennis Rader and Joseph, they had criminology degrees, and he was studying criminology. That's why the daughter says, I'm shocked how far he's made it into the criminology field, but it's happened before. She said that my father has a criminology degree. The Golden State Killer, he has one. Bundy, I believe, studied criminal law, so it happens. That's what she is sharing. Yes, Ted Bundy was doing. He was even working with law enforcement, not as a cop or anything, but he was literally working for law enforcement. And so she says, I mean, you can be an expert on psychopaths and they're still going to trick you. Investigators have yet to outline a motive in this, in the incident of the 4 students, but those who knew Kohberger say he had a deep interest in the psychology of criminals. And so that's where we know part of that, right? But truth is, we won't really know too much. But when you really think about Catherine Ramsland, the renowned expert on serial killers, she is not speaking for obvious reasons. I don't know if she'll end up having to be in court just testifying or anything about that. We don't know. But Kohberger, he is a PhD or was a PhD student before this thing all came out and he's been arrested. And he's a teaching assistant at the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University in Pullman. This WSU is only located 9 miles west of the University of Idaho. Before moving to Pullman, he received his bachelor's degree from DeSales University in Pennsylvania in 2020 and completed a master's degree in June 2022. That's what the university said in a statement at DeSales University. At the university, Kohberger was reportedly taught by Ramsland, a forensic psychologist who had spent decades studying serial kills. To me, that is big because he was also studying forensics, DNA, and other evidence prosecutors are going to use to secure convictions in his criminology class. So he was doing this just 2 weeks before the brutal slayings. So I believe there is a connection to what he was trying to learn and what he was doing. Now again, she has not made any public comments since his arrest. Her only statement was, "I'm making no media statements at this time." Ramsland, PhD, she's a professor and assistant provost at DeSales University, where he was studying under her. She came to the university specifically to teach forensic psychology, focusing on her field of expertise, extreme offenders. That's according to her biography on the university's website. Having experienced the excitement of forensic psychology, she hopes to show students how to find and prepare for its many opportunities. And according to the page, courses that she teaches at the university include forensic psychology, psychological sleuthing, dangerous minds, and behavioral criminology. Ramsland, she holds a master's degree in forensic psychology from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, a master's in clinical psychology from Duquesne University, a master's in criminal justice from DeSales University, and a PhD in philosophy from Rutgers University. And this is according to her biography on the Psychology Today website. She writes the shadow boxing blog for the website as well, which is described as one that probe the mind's dark secrets. So if he is the person that is truly behind this, as the cops believe, I could see why he would study under her. See, Ramsland, she has published over 1,000 articles, and she has written about 69 books. And so she is well known in the true crime community. And she even wrote the book that I shared with you, Confession of a Serial Kill, The Untold Story of Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. And she has appeared in hundreds of crime documentaries and consulted for television shows like Bones and CSI, which is very well known. I didn't know that part. I think that's pretty cool. And federal and state investigators, they're combing through his background. This Bryan Kohberger's background. They're combing through his financial records, any communications that he has done, as they try to find a motive for why he would do such a thing. And so, citing Idaho law, authorities have said that they cannot discuss any details around this case as to what led them to Bryan Kohberger as the main suspect until he is extradited to Idaho, which will happen probably in the next 72 hours, something along those lines. So he will be there by the end of Tuesday or early Wednesday. Will he be in court Wednesday or Thursday? We don't know yet. Right now, he is being held without bail. But again, he was studying these exact same things. He was studying in detail how forensics, DNA, and other evidential procedures help prosecutors, right, to secure their convictions. He was trying to study that. Why was he trying to study that? Was that a way that he was going to be trying to get away with this if he does get caught? I mean, hear that out again. He was studying in detail how forensics, DNA, and other evidence procedures that prosecutors would take in order to get a conviction. So he's trying to figure out, okay, if I am get caught, how do I try to get away with this? Again, if he is the one, as police say it, he is still due his day in court. I'm sharing with you what we know so far, because he was a criminal justice major. And so from what we are learning, he allegedly enjoyed learning about the ways convictions were brought about. That's what former classmates are sharing. So now that we know he was all this education that he was doing, personally, I still believe they're going to need more to get 12 people to convict this guy. They need that weapon. That's my thought process in it. What do you think on that case? Because at the end of the day, we're going to want we don't want the wrong person. Even one of the parents said, I hope they got the right guy. Because we're relieved now and we just hope that there's no mistakes along the way. Which is why they have to be very careful how much information that we receive. Because before you know it, the defense attorney could be using it against them, right? So we have to think about that as well. Like, hey, do your due diligence, law enforcement, and make sure you got the right guy and make sure you get your conviction. These 4 students deserve peace. They deserve justice. They deserve that the right person is put behind bars. I agree 100%. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you again for joining me on another episode of Deep True Crime as we dive deep into why these things happen to keep you a little more alert as to what you better be careful for and to be a voice for the victims. Rest in peace to these 4 young students taken from this world way too soon. And to find out all the things that may be surrounding this, it's very chilling. I'm just going to say that. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Deep True Crime. I look forward to being a voice for those victims and serving you again. Peace. Be careful out there.